Folks, hello and welcome to Tavern Chat. I hope that many of you watched last night's live stream with Bad Mike and myself talking crit when we went over this whole what is this new TSR? What was TSR? Where is this possibly going? Well, it keeps on. It's like the ever ready bunny from when I was a kid, it's like, it's like the bunny just doesn't end, right? It doesn't stop. Well, this doesn't stop. I am going to direct you again, dare I say it, to N-World. It's the best way you're going to find a link to a live stream that also just happened, live from the bunker, 277, the return of TSR games. It is a live stream with Ernie Gygax, and Ernie is basically left to his own devices, asked a handful of questions, and basically goes off the rails. So, what does he talk about there? They ask why a new TSR. TSR has been gone. There's a ton of artists and game designers, people that play. And recently they were being dissed for being old-fashioned, possibly anti-modern trends and enforcing or even having the concepts of gender identity, at which point he laughs. Now, I have tried to watch some of this live stream. Morris has transcribed bits and pieces that could be made out. Morris, this is one of those few times where I'll say, you're a better man than me. I may subject Rachel to listening to this hour and 15-minute train wreck later on tonight. I may need whiskey because I think the new TSR makes me drink, and I got to be careful in my new TSR coverage because it might give me a problem. So why two TSRs? The other TSR is a licensee because Jason Elliott let it lapse, but he had absolutely love for the game and the products. There was no reason to say, "Oh, you screwed up, and it's all ours." Ha ha ha. Instead, Justin came to him and said, "We love that you're doing top secret things. We have a much broader goal for the whole thing, but there's no reason for you to stop or even have any troubles." Justin said, "I'll take care of the paperwork. You just give me $10 a year, and you can put out all this love for old school gaming that you can. And we appreciate that you were there to try and pick up things. And you produce Gygax magazine for its time that you're also working on a game that you love to play because Top Secret was Jason's love as a young man." Okay, I'm going to skip the part in Gale, Gygax, wills, and courts because I'll probably touch on that one when there's an update from the courts. Right now, it is being stalled by Gale. How involved are you in the new TSR? With the other two gentlemen, as well as many volunteers and hopefully an ever-expanding membership, this is kind of, think of it like an old British club where we sit around with our cigars. This is going to be hobby champions or something. Morris couldn't make it out. On a TSR trademark. The TSR trademark was found in the dirt by mistake. As we were setting up the museum, we were just looking for Dungeon Hobby Shop, all that sort of thing. And Justin found, aching in the corridor, with the carcass of an old counter, this treasure. And instead of saying like a thief and pocketing this, he said to Jeff and I, "We have found this treasure. Let's make something of it." I know Ernie tends to be a little large with his words. He's a storyteller, and I will grant that. We go on to Giant Land. You go on to how many original people are part of this new TSR. And the only person that he names is Larry Elmore, who says he is ready to maybe be a project art director. I don't know about that. I've heard that Larry has some health issues. We haven't heard from Larry. However, we have heard from others that have been mentioned with TSR, and I will bring them into the conversation shortly. On Star Frontiers, it would not be the same game. It will be a complete remake, sadly, or at least enough, as they told my dad when they did second edition that, "I'm sorry, you don't deserve any royalties from this because we changed it more than 10%. We're a small company. We're not defiantly going to go to bat against Wizards of the Coast. That would be stupid. We'd just lose." Here's the deal, though. It isn't that the same company is changing the rules. You are a company that doesn't own the IP. You own the trademark, so you can't come in and use the old rules. You can't. It doesn't work that way. Trademark does not bring along copyright. I hate having to keep on repeating that, but on cooperating with Wizards of the Coast. I would hope so, but they just put out a big disclaimer recently, trying to divorce themselves from the ethics and style of play that was involved in the origins of the game. They're basically trying to say we're a better company and a better type of person than those who started playing. At least that's somewhat the impression they've given. And please switch over and be a part of the new wave. Join the pack of lemmings. Oh, yeah. Now, I've referred to lemmings when it comes to this newest version of TSR, but the lemmings I'm referring to are the ones that believe that this newest version of TSR is the original TSR, Return from the Ashes, and it's going to be printing AD&D 1A supplementary materials, and it has the rights to Dungeons and Dragons, and it has the rights to Star Frontiers and all the original material, and it's going to bring back Boot Hill and Gamma World, and no. So those to me are the lemmings, okay? On the future of TSR, Justin is extremely interested in dealing with the Swiss firm. Okay, that would just be a licensee, but there's something about somebody who's putting his old hobby shop dungeon into a game where it's virtual reality. There's more on Giant Lands. It's been on Kickstarter and late Kickstarters. And on this one, the best I can say is, yes, it's 5 years late. Yes, Troll Lords has come in to save it. Yes, there was money that remained in the account years later because I saw it. So it wasn't horrible when it came to accounting for the funds. But he does mention that he has a burnt hand from Kickstarters, but they do work. The reason that they work is not just the money they bring in, because you don't get all of it. Maybe 7 to 10% of it gets stolen by banks and other people, because that's why they do this crowdfunding thing. They say, oh, great, yeah, we'll handle your money, but it's gone. Or you don't crowdfund it. You keep all the money, and you raise maybe 1/10 of it. They are providing a service. When you're provided a service, you must pay for the service. Nothing comes free. All right? I don't know what else. Then he talks a little bit about museum memberships. I'm not even going to delve into that one. So now, if you look on my screen, you're probably saying, whoa, well, there's a Jeff Dee announcement. Well, yeah, there is, but there's more than that. So we're going to get into that. James Ward. Now, James Ward has been the one that's been most linked to the new TSR that is not part of the executive board, because James Ward co-wrote Giant Lands. So this is James Ward had a shorter version of this. Now, this is the most recent one as far as I know. So I'm going to read James's statement. Clearing up Giant Lands and TSR and James M. Ward. Let me clear up some gross speculations about my work and what I'm doing right now. Too many people are totally wrong in what they are saying about me. And I'm going to tell you why people are totally wrong. Because TSR is putting out posts and comments that are, like, even Ernie just before, talking about Larry, possibly coming on as art director. Until he's art director, he's not art director, right? But you're saying this because you're working on Larry's name and fame. 2 years ago, this is James Ward. 2 years ago, I met Stephen Deinhardt, and he presented me with a brilliant concept in Giant Lands. He asked me to design the RPG, which I gladly did. Stephen was good to work with and had great ideas that I incorporated into the new Giant Lands RPG. I offered to give him all the support I could give to make the game grow. I poured all of my 45 years of experience into the game. There are revolutionary concepts in the game that I have never seen in other role-playing products. There's a combination of pure fantasy and apocalyptic gaming, which I don't believe has ever been combined before. Rifts, kind of, right? Rifts was pretty much that. I know it'll be a fun game, and all the many playtests have been very positive. Recently, Stephen talked to Ernie Gygax and Justin, who are two major forces in taking TSR from the ashes and making a new company. They convinced him to hook the Giantland star to the new TSR. I wasn't asked, but I understand perfectly why Stephen liked the idea. My name has been passed around as having already started working for TSR. I haven't joined the TSR team in any way. I greatly respect Justin's efforts to create a D&D museum in Lake Geneva. Anything that keeps the Gary Gygax name alive, I fully support. If Ernie, Gary's son, is part of that, I'm inclined to think it's a good effort. I don't know what to expect from TSR. Haven't talked to them yet to find out the facts for myself. I have an appointment to run Giantlands for all of the TSR group on July 21st at the D&D Museum, and I'm looking forward to it. I don't know if the new TSR will be good or bad. I don't have enough information to speculate on its future. I will be getting that information. However, no one should be speculating on my actions about anything, and such speculation irritates the hell out of me. I know Giantlands to be a sound product. When I know more about TSR, I will report back on my Facebook page. That's pretty clear, right? Pretty clear that James Ward is not working for TSR. He may in the future, but he's not part of the team. He's not, we've brought in all these old school original. No, you haven't. Jeff Dee was mentioned as being brought on as one of the original old schoolers, right? And Jeff Dee is great because he's an artist and a game designer. Oh, Jeff Dee. Okay, clarification time. There's a rumor going around that I am part of this new TSR company. That is not accurate. I have done some work for them as a freelance artist. That's how I make my living. And spreading the misinformation that I'm now employed full-time by one particular client could stop other clients from approaching me and hurt my business. So please do not spread that rumor. If I ever become a full-time employee anywhere again, I will announce that myself. Thanks. Jeff has his own company, right? So I can understand why Jeff would be a little upset. Here's an observation on my part. With the new TSR, especially with Justin and Deinhardt, is that they put out a lot of information that is incomplete or open to interpretation, and then enjoy watching the community who just is dying for this newest iteration of TSR to be the original TSR, risen from the grave, to fill in the gaps, and they don't correct it. So now you have people who have been assumed to be part of the company, clearly stating that they are not. So that's a little bit of a follow-up to last night's episode. More than I expected. I expected something else. Oh, so before I forget, just a quick mention, because this is what I was going to be talking about. Maybe I will talk about this on another cast. Roll for Initiative, RFI, is kind of sort of back. All right, it's back on the Evil DM's feed on Anchor. So Vince Florio is back doing Roll for Initiative as a solo cast for now. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes. I was always a big fan of RFI. And Vince is the reason why I'm involved in podcasting and YouTubing and all this shit. So huge tip of the hat to Vince. I wish him luck with the latest venture. And on that note, we're still in the midst of the world of COVID. So please, use your common sense. All right? Not a medical professional. I make no claims to be so, but please use your common sense. Be safe, be well, God bless. Knock on wood. I'll be back again tomorrow with Joe the Lawyer, 8 p.m. Eastern. Dun, dun, dun. Iron rations. All right, folks. Oh, and please, subscribe. Latest.